It's the game show with Joshua Martin Corrales.
Alright, welcome, and welcome. Welcome back to the game show with Joshua Martin Corrales. I'm your host, as usual. Not always. Come on, nothing is permanent in this world. And today we're playing Saragetsu, or as it's known in English, Ape Escape. You might be asking yourself, Joshua, why? Why in Japanese? Why? Why? To which my response is, I hate English voice acting. I think most of it is very lazily done, especially dubbing. I shouldn't say voice acting because, Disney movies exist, Steven Universe exists, games exist that have good voice acting, and so does shows. But dubbing in general, when you're replacing Japanese audio, there's a lot of mistakes, and I have no time for it. I got no time. That's why we're starting right now. We're starting Ape Escape. The second my controller is like, oh wait, what? There we go. Alright, so, Ape Escape. You might remember this game came out in, I think, 1999. Pretty popular, pretty good game. It's one of the first games to really use the analog stick to full potential. It actually says on the back of this game, I was just looking at I got an English copy. Don't think I'm just some heathen who only plays games in Japanese. No, I've got an English copy, and on that it says that it's the first game to have a full usage of the analog system, of the analog control sticks. And if you look into it, yeah, it uses both analog sticks for gameplay, while afterwards, the right stick's always camera. So here we've got our main characters, Kakeru, and I missed his name. The main character, I think his name's Spike in English. See, he just showed up. Oh no! Hiroki. So it's Kakeru and Hiroki in Japanese. It's not important. Spike and Jake, I think is his name? The evil looking one with the blue hair, he's Jake. So, in case you don't know the story to this game, what happens is there are helmets that increase a monkey's intelligence. One evil monkey puts the hat on. He's super smart. He decides, I'm going to go to the professor's lab, the professor who made the helmet, and I'm going to steal his time travel machine, and I'm going to conquer history. And, let's ignore all the problems with that in, just general science terms, There's a lot of things with time travel where people just immediately are like, okay. And if you hold 50%, 60%, 80% of time travel plots under a magnifying glass, you look at it for 30 seconds and you're like, wait a second. This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't add up at all. And it's the same thing with this. You might be able to excuse it because, actually pretty interesting. I don't know if because games have hubs. The hub in this world is the time station, which I think we're about to zoop into. No, Professor's warning us. So we're Kakeru, that's Spike in Japanese, I guess, and he's telling us we're going back in time. We already went, and now we're in the Jurassic period, or as he says here in Japanese, the dinosaur age. So basically the point of this game is these monkeys have gone all throughout history to wreak havoc on unsuspecting, prehistoric animals and, people. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to use my net, the gotcha mecha, as he calls them, to catch all the monkeys that escaped and, save the time stream. Make sure that none of the things that they do back then have an effect on the present. Like I said, don't hold it under a microphone glass, a microscope glass, any glass. Don't hold it under glass. If you hold it under glass, it heats up, glass explodes, gets in your eye, you're blind. You're blind in one eye, you're blind in both eyes, and he just keeps talking. Alright, so now we're in the game. Now they've got me into not the time station. Okay, I've just been sent back in time wildly. I'm in the prehistoric era. She's telling me there are 4 monkeys here, and I gotta catch one. And by God, by good, by gosh, by gall, I'm going to do the best I can to do that, to accomplish this mission. Here we go, first monkey. Oh my God. So, two things. This game is very cute. Ow. And, so, like I said, it uses both sticks, which is, before this game, not really a big thing. Every time I play this game, I notice the same thing. But you see these dinosaur tracks? They just lead to oblivion. What is there out, you know, on the outside? The infinite plains. I like that they made it so that the clouds do cast a shadow if you're looking at them from the right angle. But yeah, because this game uses both the analog sticks, the right analog stick, which is, you know, 90% of the time we use it as camera in video games, is left with nothing. So the camera is kind of shaky in this game. It gets better as more of these games are made. Like Ape Escape 3, I think, is, you know, that's a primo game. That's some real good stuff. This game's like 8 out of 10. I think the second one I would also say is an 8 out of 10. The Ape Escape 3, 10 out of 10. And that's subjectively. In my personal opinion, these games are all 10 out of 10s. All perfect games. So, yeah, because the camera might be difficult, but that's really our only problem going into this game. I'm a grandmaster of the Ape Capture game. You know, I've caught them all before, and I'm going to catch them all again. Probably not, we'll see. And, you know, I never make any promises on this show. That's kind of my big deal. Oh, God. And, as usual, for the first episode of the game, I have misplaced my timer. There we go. So, we're gonna run a little long. I'm probably just going to run it 8 minutes from now and then pause then. So you might have seen the Crash Bandicoot playthrough. It's going to be a little different. Things are going to be a little different. I'm going to keep tighter to 10 minutes because it turned out editing 20-minute episodes at a time was not fun. What? Alright, so here we're going. We're still in, you know, Chuseidai, you know, way back then. And we're in Chupu Chupu Lake. Chapu Chapu Lake. Chapu Chapu. And we get a new item. So, cool thing about this game. As you progress, they give you more items, which lets you explore the environments, catch more monkeys, and, you know, have a variety of gameplay choices to make. Because you don't have to use, like, there are items that you do have to use, but you can choose to use them, and you can choose not to use them in general purposes. So, they give you, you know, a lot of freedom in this game. At the same time, this game is a little bit, oh god, how do you rise? Oh god. Oh god. Oh, L2. I was worried there for a second. Yeah, I might not die so often in this game as in comparison to the Crash Bandicoot series, but I will make some really funny mistakes because this game is just not the kind of game where you're gonna play it perfectly. Ape Escape is a cruel mistress. So here's the last part of this training. That's they give you these tutorials just so that you can use them in later games because, you know, it's like I've played Ape Escape before. You can skip them, which is nice, but it is like very helpful, especially with things like how to swim, that they force you to do it so that you won't just be me later in the game just struggling underwater. And, you know, then Spike doesn't catch any monkeys, and the timeline's ruined, and we have to live in the ape apocalypse. You know, the ape apocalypse. It's like Planet of the Apes, but instead of all the humans that are around, they're none. There's no humans. And instead of all the false, you know, science nonsense, it's just, you know, all ridiculous. You'll see as this game goes on, Monkey Technology is a completely different game. Planet of the Apes, they were living in some weird... They were like, well, humans, we have no idea to know if they can talk or not. We have no way of knowing. And I'm like, yeah, you do. It's called the scientific method. It's called, have you tried teaching any humans any English? But, yeah. The enemies in this game are so weird. Like... I don't understand the design aesthetic because it's just like that little, you know, orange spike ball guy, and then we got green knife snot shooter guy. What is exactly the aesthetic here in terms of enemy design? Because it's kind of mismatched. Like, do those things really belong in the same time period as this dinosaur that I'm going to get on? I'm gonna get on him right now the second I make my way out of the water. Where was he? He's gone. Man. Yeah, but really this game, it's very funky and weird, and I enjoy it a lot because of those reasons. Because a lot of games are afraid to be funky and weird, and this game was like, alright, what's our premise? Catching monkeys? Okay, here we go. And then they made 3 games off it. And, you know, you're gonna hear me say this once, twice, a million times. One day, maybe 4. Because really, it's kind of a shame. It happened with a lot of series that were pretty big on PS1, PS2, that they just didn't have games on the PS3. Like, there was just a period of time where there just wasn't a game for it. Like, there is an Ape Escape game for PS3, but it is based on the ill-fated PlayStation Move, and so is not very enjoyable. There is one on PSP. There are a few on PSP. There's a whole series of games actually called Ape Academy, which is about mini games, and are pretty fun. There's also an RPG on PSP, Ape Quest, which, you know, might not seem like the greatest idea, but is just really funny. It's a really funny, cute game. They've done a lot with these characters because they are owned by Sony. This is like one of the properties originally owned by them. So you see a lot of Spike. Like, Spike was in PlayStation All-Stars. But at the same time, like, no one's really out there being like, yeah, Ape Escape 4, it's in development or anything like that. It's kind of just been put by the wayside. And I think part of that is just a lack of interest, but another part of that is just, it's been almost, I think it has either been 10 or 8 years since Ape Escape 3 came out, and the sales numbers weren't so good. You know, it's a Japanese game, though. Like, I am literally playing it in Japanese, if that's what you mean. No, but I mean it as in a way that it has a Japanese, you know, aesthetic, and it didn't translate to everyone so immediately. If we ever play Pumped and Primed, which is the PS2 Ape Escape party game, a lot of fun. I recommend it highly. Though the controls are a bit difficult. Controls in Ape Escape games are a bit difficult just because it's not very similar to other games. It's just not the kind of thing you're usually doing. So yeah, there's that. When in Ape Escape Pumped and Primed, though, once you beat each section, there is a new section, a new video that pops up, and all the videos are like about the apes going around, like some guys, literally in ape suits. It's like a live action video. Some guys in ape suits walking around and you know, doing typical Japanese things like going to the onsen and, you know, trying out sumo wrestling, or there's one where they're trying out hula dancing. It's pretty funny. But like, that stuff to an American audience is just like, okay. But to a Japanese audience, it's like, oh, this is high comedy. This is high comedy right here. Monkeys trying to be, you know, Japanese people. How funny can it be? I mean, it's like if you saw some guys dressed up in these same ape costumes, walking around eating McDonald's and fried chicken. What do Americans do? Has his gun out, trying to buy a gun, voting for Trump. What is it Americans do? Yeah, it's like that kind of, it's nonsense. But, because of that, I think it did negatively affect the popularity of these games. And I'm not saying that as like, oh yeah, Japanese games aren't popular in the United States, but they do get a lot of shit. And a game like this got a lot of shit back in the day. It was just popular to make fun of because it's, like I will keep saying, it's this ridiculous, silly game. It's not the kind of thing that you really expect to pick up. But as I also continue to say, I should just stop repeating myself. I wonder if we'll ever figure out a way to make me stop repeating. We won't, because I tend to repeat myself. When you have a thought comes through your head, a thought comes through your mind, you're like, should I say this? And then it's too late, you said it. And then try to catch this monkey, but he keeps on throwing rocks at you. No, you end up talking again. So, Did you guys see that in the background? There was like a weird pixelated bird in the distance. Oh, there it is. Look at it. That's amazing. Yeah, because they didn't, this whole space is empty. It's just a skybox. It's just painted on the end. There's also this guy driving by. And then we've also got this little pterosaur up here, just floating around, checking things out. If you get captured by him, he takes you down the slide. It's not really too bad a thing, but well, let's just get picked up by the bird. Let's get picked up. Let's get picked up, and scream and yell and shout. See, I'm fine. But that's our time for today. We got through 2 episodes of Ape Escape. We're gonna get through a few more. We're gonna play a few more episodes of Ape Escape. When we come back, we're gonna see my favorite thing. We're gonna see my favorite part of this game, one of the best bits. Later. See you. Bye. 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 Bye.